No, Crash! I won't let you steal my PS2.
Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex wasn't made by Naughty Dog, but Traveler's Tales. The game consists of 24 levels with Crash and 6 with Coco, Crash's sister. The gameplay is pretty varied, as it doesn't only consist of the classic style, but you get many different sorts of vehicular levels that spice things up and are fun to play. The controls are nice and responsive, and the level designs are nice looking and varied. You get levels like a volcano or a Japanese village, and more. As for graphics, I let you be the judge. The only problem with the game seemed to be the sound. Sometimes the volume gets madly messed up. In one scene you can barely hear, in another one the sound gets to ear rape mode, and other sound problems. Okay, so try out the game. I liked it. It's varied and it's fun. The Crash humor is present, and it's a nice game that spices things up so that it doesn't get repetitive. Try it out. Crash Nitro Kart is a great game, but it doesn't stand out from the classic kart racer to be something wow. You get all the usual elements, power slides, cups, power-ups, but even if it doesn't stand out that much, it still pumps up some good moments. The game has a story about some evil intergalactic overlord and his evil intergalactic kart racing competition. And new features from the kart stereotype include a team meter. As long as you are close to your teammates you get unlimited power-ups, but it's a drag because it hinders you to nitro advance yourself, so it's not that useful. And also, what makes the game stand out is the content. There are 22 playable characters and 25 tracks set in 5 different locations. The best thing are the level designs. They are creative and give a ton of variation. The tracks feel different one from another and each one has its unique way of being fun, especially if you play the game with a friend. So try it out. It doesn't stand out from the kart stereotype, but it pumps up a lot of content to be something good. It's a good game. Crash Tag Team Racing. Some people falsely accuse the game to be a Mario Kart spin-off, but that is not the truth. Only because it has cartoonish racing and you have weapons during the races doesn't mean it's a Mario Kart imitation. Mario Kart lacks free roam, it lacks race modes that Crash has, and has many more things that it lacks and are different than the Crash Tag Team Racing game. They are two different games. Crash Tag Team Racing begins with the presentation of the plot. You are in an amusement park and have to race to get back Von Clutch's crystals. The story is not the strongest, but it has the specific humor of Crash games that makes it enjoyable. In the game you have an entire amusement park to roam. You move to each section in order to play which race you want. And as an amusement park, you get multiple teams to choose from. You can play the pirate levels, the Egyptian levels, levels that remind you of a sci-fi movie, and more. Also, there are more things to do than just racing. For example, you can try to unlock as many Crash Dash scenarios as possible. They are incredibly fun to watch and are worth collecting. Also, you can get more outfits for the character. You can make Crash look like Indiana Jones or a skeleton and so on. When you get to the race entrance of the level, you are prompted with multiple race types you can do. So you have normal races, Crashinator, fast lap, run and gun, and also aside from this you have battle arenas and stunt arenas. In normal races, you can either win alone or you can merge your car with an opponent and then one of you drives and the other one guns down the opponent. And if you win with your cars merged, you still get the win. It's an original idea that sticks very well and it gives you a lot of fun. And it's also original, not a Mario Kart imitation. Also, you can bomb your enemies by throwing chicken at them, or sharks, or by dropping a piano on them or a submarine. You can also eliminate them with a turret gun. In stunt arenas, you have to accumulate as many style points as possible. They are fun because you can control your vehicle movement in the air, and you can end up pulling nice feeling jumps on those ramps. In battle arenas, you can either drive or shoot, and the video is self-explanatory on how and what you have to do. Also, each character has multiple vehicles you can choose from. And another amazing detail is that for each character there are multiple outfits you can buy and dress them up in. Crash has 10 outfits and the rest have only 2 to choose from. The frame rate is smooth, without lags or stutters, and the controls are responsive and feel right. You know from the start which button does what out of instinct. Also, this game has minigames as well, so there are tons of content in the game. Sure, the minigames, even though plenty, are around the same 2 types, meaning you get bowling minigames and target shooting minigames. The minigames are fun though, and I recommend you try some. The level designs are nice looking and bright, and just nice to look at. I definitely recommend you the game, as it has nice graphics, nice gameplay, and it's packed with a ton of humor. Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity is a great game. In this one, you team up with the villain Dr. Cortex to defeat some twins. The classic Crash humor is present in this game too, and aside the normal platforming that involves all sorts of platforms like bouncing platforms, platforms that move, color-coded platforms and more, and avoiding lasers, you also play with Dr. Cortex. And if you've played Ratchet & Clank, you should feel similar with the controls. The two can perform a Crash-style spin attack in tandem. Crash can swing Cortex like a hammer, which is good for demolition obstacles and enemies. And Crash can toss Cortex across large gaps, where Cortex can flip switches to lower bridges and dispatch enemies with his ray gun. These sections are actually a little dull, but there are several other ways in which these two team up and that are more fun. For example, there are Super Monkey Ball inspired levels in which you have to control the pair as they brawl with each other. Also, the game throws in a new playable character, Nina Cortex. And not only this, but the game throws in so many different gameplay styles that it's hard to get bored in the game. It's a game you have to check out. For the next 2 games, Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind Over Mutant, I'm going to talk about in general about the games at first, because there are many similarities in gameplay, and then I'm going to speak about what makes each one of them unique. And in the background you will see the games, and from the video caption you will know which game it is. Both games feature some incredible gameplay. It is smooth, it feasts the eye with its bright and colorful graphics, the level designs are nice and detailed, the controls are responsive, also the platforming in both games is creative, and it's fun to jump around in them. In both games, in combat you have to beat one creature and control its mind, and it's nice that with a smaller creature you can defeat a bigger one, and then move from one to another. It's nice to switch them, and it's nice that you don't lose a life if you get hit while controlling another creature. You get damaged only if you are just with Crash. Creatures are plenty in both games, and some look cool and others are fun, like for example the farting space squirrels. Also, both games feature tons of humor and are a delight to play. And the game formula is good, even though repetitive. I mean, it never felt to be repetitive, only now that I'm trying to explain the games it sounds repetitive, but it does not feel like that when you play. New monsters appear at regular intervals, locations are plenty too, the story is interesting, you never feel bored in these 2 games. Also, considering that these 2 games are ports, they look and behave nicely. They are great ports that have the fun of the big version. And now, what makes each game unique? Crash of the Titans has minigames like Jack-a-Mole, Crate Crash, Crash Coral, Titan Takedown, and Barrel Defender. And in Mind Over Mutant, the graphics look improved from the previous game, Crash of the Titans, and even though you have free roam in this one, it's kind of annoying, because it's not your classical free roam, but the stages are linear. You get to choose at crossroads where you want to go, and you will get to go back and forth a lot. Okay, so as a conclusion, try them all out, all of them. I haven't encountered a Crash game that I didn't like, or that I could say that it was bad, or that isn't a great game. So try them all out. Each game. They are all great. Okay, so this was the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want, follow me on Twitch, Instagram or Discord. I'll have the links to those in the video description. Also, if you want to see another video of mine, just wait till I stop talking and there will be thumbnails of other videos I've made. Thanks for watching.